Starks. That's who I have today on the Power Transformation Podcast. And I've known Clifford now for over a year, practically a year and a half. And this is a stand-up man. When I tell you that I have wanted him on my show for so long, and I dropped the ball so many times thinking that I asked him to come and I hadn't, but I finally said, hold up. I got to do better. So now I have Clifford Starks here on the Power Transformation Podcast. Welcome, Clifford.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I say everything in due time. Everything works in alignment all the time, and we just have fun with it. So I'm glad to be here.
You are right about that. And the timing is right. I sat around and I said, when am I going to drop Clifford's episode? And I looked and I said, oh, Lord. I said, I haven't even done this episode. Look at that. So thank you. I'm so serious. I was like, what am I
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to? And so finally did it. And so I want to dive right on into this. And Clifford, what I always like to do for all of my guests, I didn't plan it like this, but it's stuck since. I just like to always open with a lighthearted icebreaker question. And so I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you this question. Clifford, if you could think about what your favorite, now we are both entrepreneurs and are busy, productive people, right? And your family man also. But if you ever have time to watch TV, and I'm keeping it broad, meaning YouTube, apps, Prime, anything, cable, what is a show or something that you watch, even if it's just sporadically here and there? And why do you like that show so much?
One of my favorite shows, it's a cartoon. Have you ever heard of Thundercats?
Yes, yes, indeed. You
Yeah.
took it
Yeah.
back.
Yep. Yep. And what I love so much about Thundercats, they all have their own superpowers.
Hmm.
They all have their own special weapons. And Lino brings them together. Like when things get real, he goes thunder, thunder, Thundercats, and I just love the message behind it. On saying like, hey, we're all going to come together and use our powers together, and it reminds me of entrepreneurship in a big
Uh-huh.
way.
It certainly does. And so, question, I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm going to here. I am
Mhm.
assuming that you still like it because you more than likely watched it as a kid, right?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. And that is so good. Yes, I know Thundercats. I'm from that generation as well. And
Yeah.
to know that you can still watch it. It's so funny you would say that because there are times when I'm on YouTube and I'll watch, for me, I'll watch retro cartoons and
uh,
things,
yeah.
just a brain break for me. So that is awesome to know. And Thundercats having these superpowers. Clifford, we're going to talk later about what you do, but I can say that some people would dare say, based on what you do and have done, you've got to have some hidden secret superpowers. You may be your own superhero in and of
Yeah.
itself because you've done, yes, because you have done some incredible things in your life. But before we get into the what of what you do and how you've served, Clifford, answer this. Who is Clifford Starks?
Clifford Starks is both a fighter and a lover. He knows how to fight and he knows how to protect himself, and he knows how to love. At one time, I would have said love unconditionally, but now I want to say love deeply,
Mm,
because in order to have unconditional, that means it's the opposite of conditions. And to me, to just do it deeply, to love a person very, very deeply, um, it can align and it can support each other in building strength. Like you can
mhm.
have a strength where you're building with relationships and you're building in such a way that no one can break it down.
Wow. I like that a lot. And I think sometimes when people say unconditional love, they don't always think about what that entails or what that means. That's very loaded. Whereas a deep love, I think really goes above and beyond in so many different ways. And you've gone above and beyond in your life. And so just tell us briefly in just a minute or two, because we will expand on this, but tell us what
Mhm.
you do prof professionally, Clifford.
Yeah, yeah. So I was a UFC fighter. I got in the Hall of Fame for MMA, which I was honored to be a part of. And on my expansion, I expanded into entrepreneurship. And so I support leaders and I support with leadership strategy because I go,
Mm-hmm.
okay, life's a game of leadership. Now, I will say I got this from Myron Golden. I absolutely
Hmm.
love what he talks about, brilliant individual. And he talks about how leadership is about having the right lifestyle, the right leverage, and the right legacy. And so as I connect with people, I want to support people in getting those three things in place. And in return, it also helps me support myself in getting them in
Yeah.
place. Because when I help people get clear, it actually helps me get clear along the way.
I like that a lot. And, in terms of getting clear on things, one thing that you've told me just in our conversations is that you're passionate about people. What does that look like in your life, Clifford?
We have so much potential as human beings, and we have to be challenged to that potential because no one raises their hand up and says, I want to see how much potential I have.
Yeah.
Usually something in life happens and you're put in a position to show what kind of potential you have. Like mine was I was an overweight kid. And
Mm.
did I know how overweight I was? No. Because there's this thing that we do called hide from it. So I
Oh.
didn't look in mirrors, I didn't weigh myself, I didn't let anyone take my picture. And one day I finally had to look myself in the mirror and I really got to see it. And when I say really got to see it, it was me and my parents.
Hmm.
We were at a hotel. And so I got to see a front and a back mirror. So I really got to see myself.
Mm.
And when I saw myself, I'm like, I didn't like what I saw. And I wanted to make a change.
Hmm.
And when you make enough of a change, what I notice, because it's something that I continue to notice more and more. I'm a 44-year-old man now, but you want to support others in making their change, making
Hmm.
their shift as they go through their journey.
How old were you, just out of curiosity, when you saw yourself in those mirrors?
12.
Wow. And that's such
Yeah.
an impressionable age. It's puberty and changes anyway. And so,
Hmm.
wow, that is really deep that you came to that realization at that age, because so many people don't do that. And I'm curious now that you've mentioned in terms of, you avoided it and you hid from it, but you said something earlier about MMA and fighting and all of that. Take us back, Clifford. Tell us your journey on what led you down that path. So, being that you said that you were overweight as a child, I would it would be safe to say that you probably weren't very athletic. So, what ended up leading you down this path of MMA, and what qualities and traits are inside of you that allowed you to be so highly successful at it?
Yeah. So I actually became athletic during when I started losing the weight. And
Mm-hmm.
so I lost the weight and then I got into high school and I became a very, very high level athlete. Like I was a state champion in multiple sports and wrestling and
Wow.
track and field. And I was an all American football player.
Oh.
And yeah, what I noticed, it didn't take me as long to get things as other people did, but it's not because I'm special in any way. We actually all have this ability to do it. I just didn't know what I was doing at the time. Now that I'm a coach, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we identify as, our brain's going to show us that reality.
Mm-hmm.
So I am crazy as all get out, I believe in myself so deeply. Like, all right,
Mhm.
how many reps do I have to do to get this figured out? And what I started learning was, oh, wow, we all just get in our own way. Ultimately, it's a game of us getting in our own way. And
Mhm.
everything that we have or everything that we don't have comes down to us. Now, it's not to say that systems aren't faulty. It's not to say the environment has its disadvantages. Those are all true. But I know how powerful this thing is, both in a
Mhm.
good way and in a bad way. If you find reasons to why it won't work, it's going to come up with reasons like, oh, yeah, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this problem over here. But if you find like, okay, well, if I were to get it, what would I do?
Mhm.
Well, if you were to get it, maybe try this or try this over here. And then it allows you to act on it.
Mhm. So tell us then specifically how you ended up with all the, and where are you from originally, Clifford?
Yeah, so I was born in California. I've been
Oh.
in Arizona since I was 7.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
when you were all American and just getting all these accolades in sports, you were in Arizona. So,
Mhm.
yes. So my question to you is what characteristics and traits really led in you? Yes, you've had that mindset that you can always do it, but to go down a route to MMA, what I'm asking is tell us about that journey and how did that transform you into being who you are today?
So everything you do is harder than you think it's going to be when you go to
Hmm.
do it.
Hmm.
It's just that some of the things we don't remember, like
Yeah.
walking for the first time. And what's also interesting is we see people walking all around us all the
Hmm.
time. So little kids see someone walking and they're like, oh, I guess that's what I'm supposed to learn how to do.
Hmm.
And when you go to walk, you don't have anyone going, you suck, you fell. Did you see how you fell? Like, no, they
That's
just let
true.
you do it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just let you do it.
Yeah.
So what I learned, and it was so crazy because I actually learned it being a black kid,
Hmm.
and I was the only black kid. That was my advantage. And the reason
Oh.
I say it was my advantage was I got hated on early on. That's a plus because everything has a net plus or a net minus. We get to choose how we look at it. Now, I didn't know that at the time,
Hmm.
but I go, oh, I can get whatever I want as long as my desires are strong and true. And I follow through on the things that I need to follow through on. So, what I focused on is having the right environment. What environment am I in? Having the right coaching and mentorship. So I
Hmm.
go, okay, this person got this many people to the UFC. Let me go with this person. And then the right thought process behind it all. And the right thought process is it was funny because I told my coach I wanted to fight in the UFC in a year, and he thought
Hmm.
I was crazy. Like, that's just not going to happen. And
Uh-huh.
I get it because he hadn't met Clifford Starks yet. He just asked if what
Yeah.
happened.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
And what I saw was like, I'm like, okay, I need to do this many reps. And our mind wants to come up with whatever reasons to why we can't do the reps. That's all it is. So when we give our mind reasons to do the reps, then it'll do the reps. So you go, well, this is what I plan. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing this. And Les Brown says it best, shoot for the moon, land in the stars.
Yours.
So
Hmm.
that's the game that I focus on playing anyway. So I'm like, all right, how crazy of a desire can I have? Because the crazier the desire, the bigger actions that I'm going to
Hmm.
take, and the bigger actions that I'm going to take, the sooner
Hmm.
I'll be to the result that I'm looking to get to.
But it's interesting you would bring up that story because I'm going to take you back and you might not even remember that you told me this, but I
Mhm.
see some of the alignment in it is that you were determined to do certain things from even a young age, even if you didn't realize it. Because, yes, at 12, you came to that realization about your physical health and your physical appearance. But at age 4, Clifford, something happened to you that I felt was the most amazing story with a lot of life lessons in it that could even help someone else who is seeking to step out on faith or to really change the world around them. And that was Clifford, when you were 4 years old, there was a Ghostbuster ride. Tell us about that story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll never forget that story either. So I totally remember telling you about it.
Uh-huh.
So I had my first dad, and my first dad was not going to support me in getting on this Ghostbuster ride that I really wanted to get on. I was also really, really scared to get on it too. And he wasn't going to support me, and I didn't have the strength at the moment to support myself in it. And so I didn't. I didn't go on the ride. But I remember being like, I never want fear to stop me from doing anything ever again.
Mm,
And I made that vow to myself. And even as I'm telling this story, I want people to know my jaw is getting tight, my neck is getting tight
mhm.
because fear can come whenever you don't expect it. In fact, sometimes it comes when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And so my mind knows like, oh crap, yeah, he's gonna go into whatever he goes into, no matter what, no matter how big and scary I try and make it, he's gonna go.
Mm. Wow. And that has carried you over the years. Tell us and take us to that moment, Clifford, when you were all into the UCF and MMA and just fighting. Did you ever have a moment of, wow, I can't believe I'm here? Or did it always just feel like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be?
Oh, I was gonna be there. Yeah, like my whole thing was when I got there, my coach was actually shocked that we had gotten there. He's like, I can't believe we got there as fast as we did.
Mhm.
Now, there will be new challenges that we don't expect at times.
Mhm.
Like my challenge was I got the one thing that I never wanted to happen knocked out on live TV. So I'm getting knocked out on live TV.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like, yep, it is as embarrassing as I thought it was going to be. Like, I was like, that freaking sucked. And I remember, see, the brain will always play games.
Hmm.
And I remember my next fight, all I saw were flying knees from someone who wouldn't throw a flying knee even if you paid him. Like he
Wow.
just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But in my head's like, watch out for those flies. It's like, it's not real. And so I stomped that out, and I ended up getting the win the next fight. But it's to say I'm never gonna let fear stop me doesn't mean that it just doesn't exist anymore. It
Mm.
just means it's there, but what are you gonna do? What are you
Hmm.
gonna do about it? And so my focus is I'm going to go forward no matter what. Now,
Hmm.
what's cool is I'm becoming a better leader every single
Yeah,
day. So I'm
exactly.
also learning to go forward and also figure out where the leverage points are. Like, so I don't just
Mhm.
have to go forward and push and push and push. I have to go, okay, what's the intention that I'm looking for? And what would serve me best to getting to this intention?
Hmm. So it's really interesting because your perspective is so uplifting and positive. And people say that about me too a lot. But sometimes people see what I say, people see the glory without really knowing the story. And they
Yeah.
may think people like us are always like, oh, yes, you just got to keep on going and everything. But as you're going, tough times do come. That's just a part of being human. It might look
Yeah.
different in everybody's life, but we go through it. When is a moment in your life, Clifford, where your back was up against the wall or almost there, where you said, regardless of what I'm going through, I still have work to do. I still have a purpose to fulfill, and I'm going to do it. And how did you get there? And I say that because so many people at the time of us recording this, re- regardless of politics, regardless of race, regardless of income status, a lot of people are at, or from what I've observed and people I know, a lot of people are at a crossroads and a decision
Hmm.
making time. It's as if people are shifting and evolving someplace else. Even if people's finances are right, they're still making decisions about things in the longer term. Then there could be the
Hmm.
person who's challenged with work or unhappy or saying, how am I going to feed my family? Whatever it is, everybody seems to be going through something that is stretching them. So take us to a moment, Clifford, in your life where despite you being this UFC champion and just this all around man who has so much going for him, when did you feel one of those squeeze pinch periods and how did you navigate through that to come out victorious on the opposite side?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there was a time, this was actually in the midst of me becoming a fighter.
Oh.
I had ended up signing some paperwork I should have signed.
Mm,
And there was a loan in my name specifically.
hmm.
And I was not in a position to be signing for a loan like that. And it
Wow.
was for a business venture. And the guy who was supposed to be paying for the loan stuff didn't pay for it.
Mm,
So they ended up contacting me. And three creditors contacted me on the same
mm,
day. Not very
mm.
comfortable at all.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to myself, like, okay, I got to get some sleep because I got to train. And it was the kind of tension that you try to get some rest and you can't.
Mm,
I'm just laying there looking at the ceiling like, oh, I'm
yeah.
screwed.
Yeah.
And so I go outside and I go to look up at the sky and I instantly started feeling better.
Ooh.
Now there's actually science behind why this happens. It's very
Mm,
interesting. Like it's boggling to me. But I realized how big everything was and how
mm.
small my problems could be.
Wow.
And I go, okay, well, since the world's big and my problems are small compared to the world, if I ask myself, well, what do I have? Then I can take the actions to move me to where I need to move.
Hmm.
And so my only action was, okay, just do what you can right now. And what was interesting, it was pretty interesting. I spoke to the creditors and I learned something. Creditors are human beings just like anybody else. They're
Hmm.
just doing their job.
Hmm.
And they actually want to help if you're not a douche to them. You
That's right.
actually, yeah,
Yeah.
you actually speak kindly to another human being. They want to help you out.
Hmm.
And so that's what I did is just say, like, what can I do? And in asking that question, they concocted a plan. Each one of them, I asked all three of them, what can I do? What do I have? I'm one individual. What can I do? And they started supporting me like, well, there's this, and there's this, and you can do this. I'm like, okay, let's work that in. And so I paid them on a monthly basis. This was the funny part. This was what was really cool. So when I
Hmm.
got in the UFC, I ended up winning my first fight. So I
Wow.
got a nice lump sum.
That's right.
And my coach goes, you can pay those creditors off right now.
Mm.
He goes, ask a negotiation where
Yup.
they just take 50% of it and they go like, look, I if I can be clean and clear and done with it because I got the money, I got the cash. They said yes.
That's right. Hmm. Yeah.
And so in life, like, and this is for, I'm still speaking to myself,
Hmm.
everybody, as I go through this journey. The journey never stops.
Hmm.
And I'm speaking to all of you. We get the choice on where we're going to look. If we
Hmm.
look down at our feet, that's what we see. We're like
Yup.
living in our own hell. But if we look up, we start seeing possibility.
That's right. That's right. That's powerful. And that is encouraging to a lot of people. And it may not, I always say to people, your challenge might not be my challenge might not be their challenge, but we're all a part of this human experience. And sometimes people can feel ever so isolated and thinking that they're the only ones going through something. And I am of the belief and experience and know hard times are temporary. It's all on how you navigate through them. It's the lesson learned. It doesn't have to be your plot in life. And a lot of it, as you said, kindness goes a long way. Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, whether it's a creditor, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a next door neighbor, I watch at times certain court shows on YouTube. If I have downtime, which is like I just need a brain break, I will watch certain
Mm,
things. And on some
mm,
court shows, even hearing how next door neighbors are just nasty to each other.
yeah.
Life is too short for that. Over a he's 2 inches. I literally saw a case where a person's fence was 2 inches on their neighbor's property, and they
Yeah.
were really angry about 2 inches. And I'm sitting here like, what is life but 2 inches? And I thank you for that because even though you had a temporary moment of tension that could have turned into severe fear and anxiety, you made a decision to go outside, clear your head, and you noticed that bigness. And so, Clifford, how have you never wanted fear to step in of getting in the way of your goals and your dreams and your achievements? And then tell us this amazing journey of how you went into coaching and leading people. How did that happen as well?
Yeah. So there's a part of me that loves stepping into an arena, no matter what it is. I
Hmm.
just learned that as an entrepreneur, we're always stepping in an arena, whether we know it or not. So
Yeah.
I started learning, like, oh, crap, like sports is life and life is sports. The principles and the lessons that you learn in sports are the same principles and lessons you learn in life.
Hmm.
The beauty about sport is it forces you to learn those lessons very fast, because if you don't, you leave concussed and looking up at the lights. No one wants to do that. And so that was one piece. And then the other piece, how did I get into coaching?
Yeah.
I listen really closely to people. And what I mean by that is people just started calling me coach. And my dad, so just to give everybody some clarity, my first dad is my biological dad. And the dad that my mom's been with, she got married to him when I was 6, I believe. And he's been my
Oh,
dad ever since. Yeah, like he's
okay.
been ever since. And I think I was 37 at the time. I don't even remember how I asked him, but he goes, "You were always a really good leader." I never saw myself as a leader because I never was appointed the position leader. Like I never got knighted leader. So I was like, well, I've never been a leader before. So
Hmm.
let me understand this. Let me research this. And I started looking at John Maxwell and all that stuff. And like leaders are just the ones who are willing to go first. Like they're
Hmm.
willing to go first and learn the lessons along the
Yeah.
way. And we're all leading all of the time. Everybody's a leader, whether they know it or not. And if you're listening to someone you don't want to listen to, you are leading. Your body is saying, all right, we listen to people we don't want to listen to. Here we go. Let's go. This is what we do. And so I ultimately go like, you know what? I want to do what I want to do. And I want to ask myself the question, what do I want to do? How do I want
Hmm.
to show up? And what I've learned, I want to inspire people and I want to bring the best out of people. And in order to bring the best out of people, I listen to them.
Hmm.
I would have never guessed this one, but when I listen to people, they listen to me. And so that coaching and that leadership and all that stuff, like it was kind of by accident. I just wanted
Hmm.
to see people win. And in
Wow.
wanting to see people win, you get better at seeing people win because you get better at asking better questions to support people in better actions. And so it was like, wow, the more you listen, the better off your life is. Like I would have
Yeah.
never guessed that.
And so, what exactly do you serve your clients in specifically? Because coaches, consultants, of course, coaching and consulting are different. You're skilled where you can do both. But in coaching
Mhm.
specifically, what does your ideal client look like, or what do they come to you needing support with, and how do you help them?
They are so good at what they do, it's almost a detriment to them. I call
Mm,
them legacy drivers. And a legacy driver, they can see the bigger picture and they can play in ego in a way. Ego is not necessarily a bad thing. It just
okay.
means like when you know you're a badass because you've done enough stuff, you know you're a badass. So you'll actually start doing things you shouldn't even be doing because you can.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, all right, we're going to drive, we're going to do this, we're going to make this happen. To what extent? Now, I'll tell you, I'm a legacy driver. I burnt out. I was bedridden for 10 days. It sucked. Wow, what
Wow.
a big lesson. Yeah. Talk
Wow.
about reflection.
Uh-huh.
And so I go laying in the bed, like, how do I keep this from happening again? Like, how do I stop this?
Hey,
And
yeah.
I started seeing, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I want to make it work for everybody so much
Hmm.
that I forgot to make sure that I make it work for myself.
That's right. You got to take care of you first. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the drivers, the go-getters, the people who know they're badasses, they already know
Uh-huh.
they're badasses.
That's right.
Those are the people that I serve. Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
people that I serve. They already know they got the stuff, they got the
Yup.
magic sauce, they've proven it, but it's
Yup.
like it's not your job to prove it anymore.
That's
It's
right.
your job to support other people in proving it to them.
Yes. Oh, wow. What a huge task and responsibility, but you're equipped for it. You're definitely equipped for it based on the fact that you were your first client when you
Yep.
helped change and transform your life all of those years ago. And that's what the key is to those of us who are those high level achievers who know that we have a gifting and a skill on us, just a true spiritual anointing in a way where we are
Mhm.
able to help people like this. And one of the things that you're big on, Clifford, and that's what resonated with me and you early on, is this whole idea of our mindsets, how we view ourselves, but also how we view the world and situations around us. And there's an old saying about how a person can, worry over things or ponder about things where they make a mountain out of a molehill. So,
Mhm.
meaning that they make things bigger than what they are. What is the danger of when our brains make things bigger than what they are, and how can a person take back control of their lives by taming that and bringing it down a notch?
Yeah, yeah. Excellent question. So we got thoughts, feelings, actions, results.
Hmm.
When we have a thought, we have a feeling around that thought. So if I have like this situation that I make bigger than it is, I'm probably not going to feel very good about it. Like
Hmm.
I'm going to be in fear instead of in faith. And if I'm playing in fear, then my actions are going to be fearful actions. If I have fearful actions, I'm definitely not going to get the result. And
Hmm.
even if I do get the result, I just got lucky that time because in my head, I'm like, I did that really scared and I did that wrong and I didn't make blah, 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 blah. So I go, okay, we get two options on how we're going to look at this situation. And we can look at it in a place of fear and a place of doubt and a place of worry and a place of making this situation bigger than we are.
Hmm.
Or we can make the situation smaller than we are. We can be bigger than the situation itself. And when we get bigger than the situation, then we can take bigger, we can have bigger feelings around it,
Hmm.
then create bigger actions around it and get bigger results. And now you're always going to be learning and navigating. Like my learning was, crap, I can't do this on my own. And then my next learning to that was, crap, I never did this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Hall of Famer by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
had a team, I had support.
That's right.
I didn't become a football player by myself. I couldn't even fight by myself. If I'm fighting and there's no one in front of me, I'm shadow boxing. And if I'm just fighting with another human being, I don't have my coaches, I don't have my corners, I don't have my support. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've been supported all this time. I just never thought of it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow. And even with this idea that you just mentioned, while you coach and lead adults, I can also see how children can benefit from this too. So, without going too much into that personal end, how do you even incorporate that in your fatherhood journey?
Yeah, everyone is watching everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go, be, do, have. I might get in trouble for this, and I don't even care because that's who I am. That's how I show
Mm-hmm.
up. So I'm not even going to say names. But
Mm-hmm.
if someone's yelling at their kid, like, calm down, just in you yelling at them to calm down and you being non calms, they're
It's gonna
taking
hype them
that.
up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
and I watch people and I'm like, oh crap, they don't see it.
You have a point though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop talking. Hush up. Calm down. Like, okay, I would be scared now.
So act just like you.
Yeah,
just
like,
with just with people who are smaller than me. Got it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
We're
That's
teaching
a
each
fact.
other how to act all the time. Like
Yeah.
all the time. My biggest thing, I was on one other podcast, or they were on my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up learning something about myself. He goes, yeah, you know what I Cliff does this one thing. It's a powerful thing, and he does it so naturally. He probably doesn't even know that he does it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm kind of curious as I'm talking to my own podcast what that thing is.
Uh,
And he goes, Cliff takes ownership.
oh.
And I
Mm,
go, holy crap! Like now, I want to actually ask everybody in the room, the audience, who's ever watching, how many times have you taken ownership on something that you had no right to take ownership on? I know
mm-hmm.
I have. I was like, I can make the whole world better. I can do it. Everybody put
Yeah.
it on my shoulders. I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. But I had to grow as a leader and say, is that really your responsibility? And it wasn't. It's just
Mm-hmm.
my responsibility to be the best and show up the best that I can show up and remind others that they can do it too.
Yeah. And when we do that, when we take the responsibilities for our actions, behaviors, thoughts, ideas, it relieves a lot of pressure because sometimes people can be here, there, everywhere in everybody else's business. No, manage what you have to manage for yourself, and life will go much smoother. And what is
Yeah.
the premise of your podcast, Clifford? Tell us a bit about that and how we can
Yeah.
even enjoy that.
Yeah. It's called The Leaders Arena. And it talks about just that, stepping into your arena. You're going to
Mhm.
learn lessons and you're always going to learn lessons. There's a saying, you're either getting hit by a feather, a baseball bat, or a semi truck.
Mm.
And I do my best. I do my best to get hit with feathers on a regular basis because I don't
Uh-huh.
like the semi truck that much. I'm like,
Not at all.
give me the feathers.
Uh-huh.
So the podcast talks about it. It allows people to take the lessons and go, oh, this and all that and all this, because there's lessons constantly happening all the time. And we just have to figure out the lesson that's going to serve us and support us on our journey. And we just have to ask ourselves the right questions like, okay, what is it that I want? And why don't I have it? And who do I need to listen to that will support me in embodying something different? Because everything's about embodiment. When you embody yourself as a certain way, you act a
Mhm.
certain way and you get certain results as you go through the journey.
Mhm. That is very true. And Is it on all platforms? Is it on YouTube, Apple Podcast? How can we
Yeah,
listen?
yeah,
And also,
it's on YouTube and
okay,
Spotify.
all
Hmm.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have a co-host too. His name's Nate Fochman. So
Okay.
we're looking to blow it up. So we might be in a couple other platforms too.
It will blow up. I already
Yeah.
know that it
Thank
will.
you. Thank you.
And if somebody's listening, if one of those badass high achievers is listening now and say, I need Clifford in my life, how can they connect with you and learn more about you, but also your services?
Yeah, yeah. So connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. I am, I'm not going to say this for me. Other people have said I'm very, very kind. And
Hmm.
they also say I'm there to support in any way that I can support.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, when it comes to my services, let me support you first.
Yeah.
That's how because what I've learned, at least what I've learned, when you're good at what you do, it doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
that much. And so a little bit of clarity can go a really long way.
Mm-hmm.
So let me support you in your clarity.
Yeah. And you have a certain level of authenticity. You're not you're you're not cringy. You're
Yeah.
really just yeah, like just a good stand-up human being, confident, not cocky, um approachable, not arrogant. You really have a heart of gold. But yet I know that you're
Thank
not
you.
a yeah, but yet I know that you're not a wimp or pushover either. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
certain people, yeah.
It's interesting
You're
because
kind, but you're kind, but not gullible and not weak.
yeah,
You understand what I'm
I've
saying?
been learning. I do. I've been
Yeah.
learning the flavor of Clifford Starks as I go
Uh-huh.
through this journey. So my marketing strategist, he came out to train with me,
Hmm.
and he trains with me, and he's a Taekwondo guy.
Okay.
And he got to see a little bit of my skill set. Like I'll just say it like that. He got to see a
Uh-huh.
little bit of my skill set,
Hmm.
and he goes, "Man," he goes, "Do you know who you are?" He goes, "You had me dead to rights in every aspect, and you didn't destroy me." He goes, "You're a gentle
Right.
giant."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, like be the leader you want to see in the world.
Yup.
Strong enough that you can stand up and say, yeah, we don't do that here. And
Hmm.
gentle enough to say, hey, I can pick you up when you fall down."
That's right. That's right. Clifford, as we come to a close here, you mentioned I had one closing question in my mind, but I'm going to divert it.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned lessons prior to me asking about the podcast and whatnot. So this is a loaded question, and if you need to take time to really think about it, it's okay. And if you don't honestly know just yet, that's fine too. But in your
Mm-hmm.
44 years of living, specifically on this journey of you as an entrepreneur, husband, father, friend, just everything as Clifford Starks, what is one of the greatest lessons that you have learned that you continue applying in your life today to ensure that you continue walking with integrity and being the upstanding human you are?
That is awesome. And I actually have the answer right away, which is
Mm,
really cool. All right.
yeah.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Mm.
When people lie, cheat, steal, doubtful, unsure, don't know what to do, they're taking themselves too seriously. Oh, I gotta look good. Oh, oh. But when you can just go, I'm a human talking with another human, and I can just do that, just have a conversation with a person, let them know how I'm feeling. Because if I let them know how I'm feeling, they'll let me know how they're feeling. And
Hmm.
then I can support them and they can support me, or maybe neither can support each other, and that's fine too.
Hmm.
But when you can have a smile on your face, all of a sudden, all the milk that your kids will spill, by the way, it's a lot. It's not just one cup.
Hmm.
or the things that will get broken, even when you tell them 20, 30 times not to do it because it'll break if they do. Yeah, that's going to happen too. Or if your significant other is having a bad day and takes it out on you, or vice versa.
Mm,
When you don't take yourself too seriously, you can navigate and you
mm.
can say, oh, I don't have to personalize this. I don't have to hold on to this. Can let it go, smile, and give them the energy to do the same.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. It helps us inspire even more listeners. And don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little power in their transformation. Until next time, keep bouncing back, keep rising, and be good to yourself and to others.